Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome in. Good to see everybody. How is everyone? I hope you're all well. I hope you're all doing okay today. I'm doing alright. I had to take it a little bit easy yesterday. I thought I was going to be able to stream yesterday, and then my body was just like, no, no. So I had to take some extra time to rest and get my energy back up. So technically this is more like day 5 of the giveaway, but you know what? We're not counting it as day 5 because, well, I didn't stream yesterday. That's okay. That's okay. No worries. Hey, Bird. Hey, General. Welcome in. Welcome in, everybody. I guess it's something you're looking forward to then. I hope it will be honorably discharged. Not the other way around. Yes, well, we're kind of talking at normal volume today. Ish. We're gonna still try to, have maybe sort of sexy librarian voice. I don't know. We'll see. Also, no. Hold on, let me check something really quick. Let me see if I even have my writing buddy set up for today, because we are going to be doing a little writing. Hang on. Uno momento. I knew I was forgetting something. Okay. That's not the button we wanted, Sifi. Okay, that's not our dragon friend. Hold on. We need to summon our dragon. Hold on. Hold on. We gotta summon the dragon here. Okay, hold on. Just 1 minute. I thought she was already up. Gotta wake her up. Get our dragon girl up and running. Log in with Discord, yes. Yes. Okay. Now we should. Yay, okay, I think now we got stuff doing. Hello, Reaper. How are you, dear? Okay. Now we have our dragon friends. Yay. Thank you for the lurk. Thank you. Hold on, one more thing. Okay. So she is muted right now. That's why she's not doing much. That's okay. She can be muted for now. Just want to have her around. Okay. Here. We will have her here too, just in case we get ready. Well, do what you can to rest, Reaper. Hopefully, I'll be able to help with that a little bit. Okay, so let's, just chill out on the bed. I don't know about bringing our tea onto the bed with us. That doesn't sound like a really good idea, but okay. I guess it's fine. You know what? I actually think that's not where we go to do that. Wardrobe. Spirit Companion. I think we might actually change over to our Ink Buddy here, because that kind of fits more with what we're going to be doing. Alright, anyways, I hope everybody is doing well. So I was thinking about just doing some journal writing in this game today, because that's actually something the game allows you to do. They have a journal writing section. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, very neat. We might actually have to try out that internal journal writing option that we have. Here, let me just... kind of shrink that just a little bit. Okay, and then we'll need to... oh my goodness, we'll need to fix it on the game end, obviously. So I made it super small. I know, right? Okay, so like, this game is pretty cool, and I'm really like honored that the game company was like, sure, TV, you can help us out with your lunch and all that good stuff. So, speaking of that, I am actually doing a giveaway. My dragon friend, this is Inca. So Inca is gonna help us out with some writing when we get to that part, which will be probably very shortly here. So she is a magical little gift from the dragon in my world who manages the Akashic Records, aka the records of all life in existence. Every past life, every present life, every life that will be is managed by her dad, the chronicler. So anyway, she will be helping us out with writing when we get there. We will probably get there shortly. Do I need to adjust anything with my microphone? I want to make sure I'm not too loud, but that you all can still hear me just fine. So yes, if you all are interested in the giveaway I have going on, you can do !lunch in the chat if you would like to be given the links that way, or if you're on Twitch, the links will just be shared periodically on the chat. Ooh, that is not what I wanted to post there. Yikes. Okay, we're all kinds of annoying today. I literally thought I copied the other thing, and my computer's just like, copy what? Anyway, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Alright, so I just thought I would try out the journal writing section of this game today to just see what that was like, because I thought that's kind of handy that they have that available as a... No, I don't want to quit the game. As an option. Renfield, welcome in. Good to have you. Alright, let me just make sure I have some things well organized here. Because I have a lot of streaming stuff going on right now. It may be a bit too much that I'm trying to juggle here, but we'll see. Oh, nice. Very nice. Very cool. Sounds like fun. Sounds good. Sounds good, Amanda. No worries. It's all good. Alright, so let's go over. Oh, that's really cool, guys. Check this out. Okay, so in the journal section, you can actually choose if you're gonna work on a specific, like, prompt, or you can just choose free writing. It's really cool. So you can do what's on my mind this morning, what am I looking forward to today, how does my body feel today, what can I do today to take care of my physical and mental health. That's a really good one. What are some challenges I might face today, and how can I prepare for them? How was my day today? What am I grateful for? These are all really, really great. This is awesome. All right, so I would encourage you all, if you want, to do some journal writing with me, if you would like. The dream I had last night. I had a very strange dream last night, period. I had a really bad one, followed by a really good one, period. Let's get into the really bad one first, period. Correct for us. First. The really bad dream I had was about some sort of demonic cat, period. I don't remember what happens or what it said to me, comma, but I remember something was wrong with its face and wrong with its energy, period. I remember recognizing this in the dream and pushing it away from me, comma, and apparently I was so bothered by its presence that I even said aloud, open quote, "Get away from me, comma, you damn cat!" Exclamation mark, close quote. I still have no idea why it was there, comma, but traditional wisdom would say a sign of bad luck, question mark. I'm not sure, period. I feel like I've had pretty good luck so far, period. Maybe a bad omen, question mark. Maybe a representation of fears of bad luck. Correct about what? Of bad luck, question mark. New line. Either way, comma, the bad dream didn't last, period. The next dream I had was a better one by comparison. Period. In this dream, comma, I was at a really fancy resort of some kind. Period. Apparently, I was there to celebrate a writing accomplishment. Period. It was strange because in this dream I was 16 years old, comma, but I had the memories from in the future of being 20 and then in my late 30s. Period. So it was a weird mix of ages and memories. Period. So Redfield, I would say you can just write about whatever. Like, in my opinion, with this kind of thing, there are no rules. It's just kind of, what do you feel like writing about more? Or like what feels more important to write about? Like for me, I'm just choosing to write about my dreams because they're still on my mind even this far into the afternoon. So yeah, so I'm choosing to do that, but you can write about whatever feels like you might want to write. Well, I could write about that next. That's a good question. Bird, I would kind of return that question back to you, and maybe if you want to write about it, maybe that could be like a fun thing to do while I'm doing a bit of writing. But yeah, maybe I'll get to that in a second. But I'm definitely gonna get these other dreams down before I forget them. Okay, sorry about that. I just thought I should maybe scoot myself up a little closer to my desk, just in case. What was also... Inka, wake up. What was also interesting about this dream was that I wasn't moving normally, period. It was more like I was floating, period. I wasn't walking, comma. I wasn't using my wheelchair, period. I was just sort of floating through the dream, comma, like a visitor, period. And yet I was a full participant, period. I was the expected guest at this event, period. Correct, guests. So I remember that correct remember is remember. Comma, in this dream, comma, I was there to celebrate a book award, period. I had won an award for a unique romance vampire novel that had lesbian themes in it, period. New line. I remember being excited to celebrate my own accomplishments. Period. I had gotten a few different awards. Period. 1 for the writing caliber and 2 for the subject matter. Period. For it being a little bit avant-garde, but also real and relatable to the LGBTQ audience that I had written it for. Period. So I was enjoying my champagne at the party / celebration, and mostly friends were there, period, some family, period. And I remember that I got a call from my grandmother, open parenthesis. She has been gone for about 6 years now, close parenthesis. And, correct, L. When I answered the phone call, she said all the things that my non-supportive family members had said in my real life about my writing, period. How could I have written something like that? Question mark. Why was I putting intimate details in front of everyone's face? Question mark. Why was I exhibitioning my sexuality? And I was surprised to hear that from my grandmother, period, because, in real life, I think she was one of the only family members who read the novel that this dream was actually about, period. Correct, stream. Dream. I felt bad in the dream that my grandmother was saying these things, because I actually don't know what she thought in real life of much of the stuff that I wrote, period. I do know that she read it, but unlike my other family members, she never really had anything to say, negative or otherwise, period. I responded to her in the dream saying, open quote, I'm celebrating the accomplishments that I have rightfully earned, I'm celebrating my achievement and my creativity, period. I'm not putting my sexuality on display to force people to accept it, period. I'm not putting things out in the open to be uncomfortable, period. I earned this celebration, period. If you don't agree, then you don't have to participate, period, close quote. I remember that I was crying as I said this, because I did feel betrayed, but I also recognized that this was the sort of thing I should have said to my family in real life years ago, period. And after that phone call with my grandmother, I went out and addressed the rest of my family, saying something similar, period. Open quote. If you want to be here, you can, but if you don't, you don't have to be, period. If you aren't going to be supportive, you will hurt me less by leaving than you will by staying, period, close quote. After that, I don't remember very much, period. I remembered enjoying myself and celebrating a victory, and that was it, period. But I think that was still a very important dream to have, comma, as it showed me I could say what needed to be said, comma, even if I was much older now, period. Okay, so we're done with that journal entry. That was kind of fun. I might actually look up some dream symbolism. Welcome in, how are you? Hold on, I'm gonna make sure my dragon buddy quits listening to me for a second. How are you doing? Welcome in. We are just playing around with some Spirit City Lo-Fi sessions. I'm actually kind of messing around with the journal writing mechanic for like the first time ever. I normally only use this game for like the study portions of what we do in this game. But it's so nice to have you joining us on the YouTube side. I hope you will stick around with us and at least have a nice, comfy, cozy, like, relaxed time. I decided to make it into a dream diary, yes, kind of. I just decided to write about my dream from last night. So, I guess I just kind of did use it as a dream diary. I think dreams are fascinating, like for symbolism and stuff. We might actually go look up some dream symbolism later and see what it has to say. Then I got asked by someone in chat to write another journal entry about like the best dream I can remember having, so we're gonna try to do that next. But welcome in. Do you mind if I just call you Oreo? Or would you hate that if I called you Oreo? Please let me know. I don't wanna annoy people with little nicknames. We're getting a raid! Welcome in! Thank you. Thank you for the raid! Welcome in, raiders! How was your stream?
Why, hello.
Okay, for those of you who are new, let me just give you a quick, hopefully not dorky, introduction. My name is Tiffy Weefy. I am your tiefling vampire queen and mom. I normally do a lot of ASMR type content, and normally that's like reading books or chit-chatting, but today we are actually going to be doing a little bit of journal writing in Spirit City Lo-Fi sessions, because I'm actually doing a giveaway for the base game in time for the release of the DLC Cozy Kitchens. So when I am not doing ASMR or writing streams, I also do like to read tarot, and things like that. So welcome in, all you little monsters. You are now part of my brood. Let's see if we can get a shout out here. I don't know if I have any of my mods in chat at the moment, so hang on. Let me see if I can get you a shout out here. Thank you for sharing your community with me, by the way. Much appreciated. I understand if you can't stay for very long, that's totally fine. I understand how much energy streaming can take out of a person, so if you need to raid and run, that's totally fine. But thank you for thinking of me and sharing your community with me. I hope that works. Please. Okay. Yay. It works. I got you a shout out. Again, thank you so much. He always instantly dips. Oh no. Oh no. Well, I guess I will have to thank them later. Oh, I see. I see. Spicy wings every time he died. Sounds like a little bit of torture. Also an incentive to not die.
Why, hello.
I hope it worked out well. I will have to track them down and say thank you for sharing their community. Welcome in. Welcome. It was torture. Oh no. Well, still, I appreciate them sending you little monsters onto me. That way I can take care of you for a while. But welcome in, everybody. Anyway, welcome in. We are just doing some journal writing right now. I am doing a giveaway for the the game that we have on screen right now, which is Spirit City Lo-Fi Sessions. I don't know if that's anyone's jam here, but like, yeah. If you're interested, there are going to be links popping up on stream every once in a while for you to go check it out. If you would like, you can also just hang out and chat if you want. I really don't have any specific rules about like people being talkative or anything if they don't want to be, but welcome in, everybody. Hope you will get nice and comfy and just enjoy your time here, however short or long you stay. Welcome in. And yes, also, I have a little dragon friend. Now, believe it or not, my little dragon friend helps me write with the power of my voice. So everything that you're gonna be hearing me say is actually gonna end up getting typed. So I just wanted to let everybody know that, because that's kind of a fun fact about me, is that I actually have to use a magical assist dragon to type up all my stuff to make up for some limitations that I have in my physical hands. So welcome in, everybody. I hope you can get nice and comfy if you choose to stay with us. Cap, the best dream I ever had. One of my little monsters wanted to know about the best dream I ever had that I remember in detail, period. Well, comma, the best dream I ever had. I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. I hope you're doing well. I'm very, very, very sorry to hear that you're dealing with pain. I hope you're okay. I know that a lot of people in my community do deal with chronic pain. So if it's a chronic pain type situation, I can understand that. If it's not and it's more like acute pain, then I hope you're gonna be okay. I hope you'll be able to come in here and be comfy, and I know it probably won't make the pain go away, but I at least hope it will help you feel in less pain. But I'm so glad you could be here with us today. I haven't seen you in a while. I know I haven't been streaming in a while either, so there's that. But so glad you could be here today. It was actually a few years ago. Period. Well, comma, I should say more than a couple years ago, period. All I remember was that I was a guest in a beautiful garden. Correct, was in. Choose one. Period, in this beautiful garden. Comma, there were many different kinds of people there. Comma, from all different kinds of cultures and different fantasy origins. Period. There were nearly every kind of creature and every kind of humanoid that you could imagine from a game like D&D. Period. New line. Oh, that's totally fine. That's totally fine. If you need to, like, leave to study and stuff, that's totally cool. No worries. No worries. Hope to see you again next time. Sorry, I have my redeems down from, like, all my ASMR streams so that people don't get freaked out in the middle of ASMR. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that you pulled a couple of muscles. That really sucks. Please, please try to take it easy. Welcome in. I try my best to remember lots of people in my community. You all are really important to me, even though I don't know much about you in real life. I honestly, I honestly really do think about you all a lot, and I really hope that you continue to do well. I'm in enemy territory, good writers territory. Dun dun dun. Relax, I'm sure you'll be fine. I'm majoring in media studies and minoring, Oh, I see. Yes, that's correct. Yep. I remember that now too. Got burnt out of psych but wanted to study my minor, which was media studies. Well, I think I have a pretty amazing community too. I feel very fortunate that I have so many kind people who are very understanding, especially when I'm not able to stream all the time because of schoolwork and all that stuff. So I really appreciate how much people kind of, you know, that they allow me to have the space when I need to say, like, I don't have the energy right now. Of course, I miss you all when I'm not able to stream, obviously, but it really helps out a lot to know that when I'm not able to stream, I'm not gonna lose my community, or I'm not gonna have people who are just, you know, only there for when I'm able to be on, which is part of the reason why I've really only done one subathon. I've only done one subathon in my entire 4 or 5 years as a VTuber, and part of that is from my low spoons overall. And I think that's just why I haven't done that a lot, and why I don't typically do kind of long running stream goals like that, because it just kind of
Why, hello?
gets out of control. Welcome in, Hoshino, good to see you. I'd say I envy you for your community as a fellow disabled VTuber, but honestly, I let that kind of jealousy go. Well, I mean, I guess I would say yes. You know, I could see why people would kind of be jealous of some of that, and I've had some interesting things happen in this community. Around VTuber groups, and specifically VTuber groups for people with disabilities. And so it's been just one of those things where, sure, you know, having a community that I helped to start and that I have done my best to support, you know, it's something that I'm proud of doing, but it has also come with a lot of work and a lot of responsibility, and in some cases a lot of drama that I really wouldn't have asked for, you know, if that makes sense. I'm only 3 years in, just my 3 year, but I stream as therapy. That's good that you do that. I have to say that as someone who is becoming a mental health therapist, I think I would have a lot to say about streaming and mental health. Everything that is worth it comes with hard work and responsibility. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. I need to get a mic so I can stream myself. Well, you know, I have some good recommendations. Right now, I think the microphone right now that I'm using is a Blue Yeti microphone, but that's kind of a more expensive one. You could also, I really like Logitech. So, like, you know, that's another option. Alrighty, sounds good. You're welcome. I hope to see you again next time. So there are a lot of options. I think even Amanda uses the mic that they have in their, like, computer. I think. I don't know. I could be wrong. They could have upgraded their mic recently. Runia! Let's put it this way, Runia. For right now, I'm kind of stuck in vampire mode. And there are a couple of reasons for that. One, I'm kind of dealing with a pretty serious health thing, which is actually why I went into vampire mode to begin with, as kind of like a signal of some things that I'm personally battling. You know, it was kind of a creative way to express I'm dealing with something. So I'm kind of stuck like this for now, at least until, like, you know, maybe some stuff with my health kind of, like, turns around. Well, yes, it was a Halloween thing, but it's also not just. It's more than Halloween. I kind of couched it in Halloween, if that makes sense. So that it wasn't just like, whoa, what the hell? You know? Oh, rats are so precious. I've had them as pets for like a number of years. I don't have them anymore because it's just so heartbreaking when they pass on. I can't deal with it, so I've just kind of given up on having pet rats for probably the rest of my life, or at least for the time being, because it's just so heartbreaking when they pass on. Hi. But yeah, so the vampire thing was a Halloween thing. It also was like a representation of some things that I have going on with my health at the moment. So if I ever do get out of vampire mode, it will have to be that like my health improves and also that the world around me kind of improves, you know, because I feel like literally I feel like the stuff going on in the world right now is like literally sucking the life out of me, Runia. So we might be vampire Tiffy for a while longer. I mean, believe me, I would love to get my color back. But I think until like my health turns around, and then maybe if the world starts acting like it has some sense, maybe I'll get my color back. I'm hoping, you know. Rats are amazing. I love them. They are super smart. I don't blame you, Runia. It's been a whole heck of a thing out there lately. Lappy, she is the best. That's such a cute name. I know, a lot of people really like this model. I think they just really like the dress and the whole vibe, so I might try to recreate it in my more colorful form when I get it back, so that it's so that it kind of goes more with, you know, the vibe that this one has, except maybe just like a bit different. Yep, I agree. That's all we can do. And that's really all I try to do as a streamer. You know, I may not be the most popular VTuber out there. I may not always stream the most, but I really do want people to know that I'm here to support them. I'm here to provide them comfort, wisdom, whenever I can. So I know it doesn't seem like much, but I think in the kind of world that we're dealing with right now, that is more powerful and more needed than a lot of people give it credit for. But like I said, I feel fortunate that I have a community who really genuinely care about me, but also other people in the community. I feel like I have a group of pretty genuine people, and I really appreciate that. Really. Unfortunately, I have to study a lot of the media going on, mostly learning from a digital literacy standpoint, where you critically think on stuff. You take in as a digital citizen, and a lot of people don't have digital literacy. I really respect you for doing that, and I would agree with you. And I think that's one of the biggest problems we have in my home country, and in a lot of places in the world right now is we don't know how to think critically enough about the media we're being fed, and we don't know how to or don't want to go to the extra work to verify where that information is coming from, who said it, why, who is it benefiting, all those kinds of things. So let me just say that I really admire you and respect you for going into that line of study. I can imagine how painful and how kind of overwhelming that line of study can be, but I really admire you and I really respect you for kind of going down that road and seeing what you can learn and what skills you can develop. I think that's really, really an important thing to do. So, my crown off to you. Good. I'm glad. I'm glad I'm able to provide a space that does not feel overwhelming and makes you feel welcome. That's kind of like the main point that I want. I mean, sure, I would love to be able to keep growing my community, and I would love for there to continue to be more little monsters in my chat over time, but I also really want to keep this space being comfy and welcoming, no matter how big it gets. But it's a little bit harder to do that when your community is so big that you have so many people in chat doing and saying stuff. Okay, wake up, Inca. In this dream, I remember that all of these people had somehow become my friends, or at least acquaintances, period. They were excited to get to talk with me and share their culture, period. I remember eating lots of tasty sweets, lots of tasty drinks, period. And I remember that I got to have many conversations about all their different cultures, stories, dances, etc., period. I don't remember much about anything specific, but I remember how much I enjoyed just swimming in worldliness, period. I remember it just being so cool that everyone around me was just free to be themselves and there were no worries about who would judge you, period. Well, thank you all so very much. You know, I don't make it a habit to ask for like praise or anything that much. You know, I'm not somebody that's like, recognize me or else, you know, I'm just not that kind of person. But it does feel nice to get recognition from time to time for things when it's spontaneous. Okay, I think we can put the journal part away for now, because I think I'm a little bit journaled out. I can't think of anything else that I wanted to write down before I forget. Okay, Renfield, go enjoy your dinner. Take your time. We'll probably still be on. When you get back, hopefully. Okay, so I'm gonna have my dragon go lay down for a little bit, since we are probably not gonna be doing any more writing, at least for a little while. So I'm going to go have her relax. As someone who only got diagnosed with palsy in 2013, I feel a lot younger than I am because the doctors misdiagnosed me. That's really... I don't understand how doctors can be so bad at, like, diagnosing things. I don't get it. Like, I was diagnosed with the disability I have, cerebral palsy. I was diagnosed with that when I was like 2.5 going on 3, I think. So I was diagnosed with that for much of my life. So it's always interesting to me to hear stories from other people where it's like, wait, what? It took them a lot longer to get diagnoses. I've been through it with ADHD. Oh. Did you ever go through anything with like a misdiagnosis, or were you just diagnosed later? I'm like, you don't have to share what you're not comfortable with. I'm just curious. I have a couple of friends who were diagnosed with ADHD much later in life. Nexus, welcome in, friendo. Good to see you. How are you? How are you doing? Nice. I'm glad you're doing well. Glad you could join us for a little bit this afternoon. So we're doing a little bit different of a formula. As some of you may know, I've been doing this game a lot in the ASMR category because, you know, this game works well for ASMR also. But I was just like, you know, I might as well just do a stream under the actual game category for at least a day or two, just to, you know, log in game that yes, we have been streaming this game. Which, by the way, giveaway, my little monsters. If you have not already entered the giveaway, please consider doing so. It will be open until 9 a.m. Pacific time on the 26th. So, if you have not already entered, please consider doing so. The doctor I had from 2 to 18 refused to call it cerebral palsy, saying I have left-sided weakness, even though... What the hell? I'm sorry, excuse my language, but what the actual hell? That makes no sense. Like, at least being diagnosed with cerebral palsy helps people know how to help you more. That makes no sense. The doctor tells me different questions as well with my ADHD and anxiety. Oh no. That just... I'm sorry. I don't know. See, here's the thing. And a soapbox incoming. So I'm studying to be a mental health therapist. Many of you already know this, right? So the thing is, as part of being a mental health therapist, I have to learn how to diagnose. I have to be able to give a diagnosis as a mental health therapist. Diagnosis is not my favorite part of the job I'm learning how to do. It makes me very uncomfortable, one, because there is such a high prevalence for a misdiagnosis. And also, I feel like in my profession, there are way too many incentives to push therapists to diagnose for insurance purposes. And that is something I'm very uncomfortable with. It's the reality of being able to get mental health services covered by insurance. You kind of have to be willing to use a diagnostics code. Otherwise, insurance will go, do we really want to pay for this? And no. But I'm not very comfortable with that whole thing in general, because you cannot tell me that is not going to incentivize people to just diagnose, you know. This is not me saying that diagnoses are not helpful. They can be helpful when they are done well and when they are done with the interest of the client, the interest of the person in mind. And doing so is going to help them get more help that they need, not further stigmatize and barrier them. You know what I mean? At least I'm finally getting help. Better late than never, I suppose. Yeah, I guess so. Why won't my chat let me go up and look at things? I know people left messages. Hold on. I was diagnosed with ADHD when I was a child, says Vernia. However, I also caught up in the ADHD, ADD craze. Yes. Unfortunately, at least one of my family members kind of got caught in the crossfire of that. I think that some of the medication that he got put on has been definitely helpful for him in his later life, this family member, but also I really still do feel like part of the reason why this family member was diagnosed with ADHD was just to kind of keep him medicated and keep him out of the other family members' way. That's how I feel about it. They would probably be super pissed off. Okay, so if you want to learn about the giveaway, you have to do !launch or !Spirit City. I did not want to put the giveaway in the Nightbot thing because it was just gonna mess it up. So if you want that, you have to go like that. Now that's for my unique links that you can click on if you want to learn about the game itself. That's kind of a helpful way that you can show the game team, oh yeah, her community is engaging with her stuff. And then if you do !launch, you can see the giveaway details. Here, let me do the other one for you. Okay, so that will give you the actual giveaway details for how you can enter to win a free copy of Spirit City Lo-Fi Sessions. The giveaway requirements are pretty simple. It's follow me, follow Spirit City Lo-Fi Sessions on either X or Blue Sky, and comment on the original post how games help you. You can still do it on Blue Sky if you have a Blue Sky account. I don't know if you do or not, but you can still enter. Yes, Blue Sky too, not just Twitter. I just have Twitter listed because it's where I have more of like a following, but it's open on Blue Sky too. So if you're following me there, just go ahead and enter the giveaway there too, and you'll still have an option to possibly win the free copy. So go ahead, do either X or Blue Sky, whatever works for you. And the giveaway, like I said, will be closing on March 26th at 9 a.m. Pacific time. And then I will actually be doing content around the DLC called Cozy Kitchen, which should be really fun actually. So apparently there's going to be some new spirits you can unlock. Apparently you might also be able to cook recipes and things like that, which I think is really fun. So I will be very excited to see what all you can do in the expansion. Or the DLC, I guess I should call it. But yeah, on that note of new spirit critters, I was actually gonna look at one of these and see if we could unlock one of these cute little guys here. So they give you some little hints for how to unlock various ones. So for this one, it says, as the light gets low, I seem to keep stepping on little bits of loose knitting yarn. So that's a little bit of a hint, probably, that we need to go into evening time. And actually, I'm going to just change my activity for the heck of it here and see if we can actually do some knitting. Although I forget where we're supposed to... Oh, right over here by the fireplace. So let's do this and see if we can actually summon the friendo by doing some knitting. You know, actually, speaking of knitting, I learned how to do that from my grandmother, like a little bit of crochet stuff. Wyvern, welcome in. Good to see you on the YouTube side. I'm doing well today. How are you doing? I do love how it's very easy to figure out how to summon spirits. Notice the light ring rotates around the spirit decks when you're in mid-summon. Aha, yes. Good luck with your deliveries, Runia. Fly safely on your broom, okay? No accidents. Thank you. Thank you, Runia. Very kind. So, well, we're gonna see if we can actually summon that little guy or not. Who knows? We might. We might if the game plays nice. It might take a minute though for it to do a thing. Alrighty, talk to you later, Runia. Take care. Drive safely. And now you're over here on the Twitch. That's fine. I really appreciate that people watch me on YouTube too. It's really helpful. It's really helpful for my overall like visibility, which I wouldn't say that I'm just like a visibility monster, you know, give me attention now, you know, but it is nice to have like, you know, viewers on here to, you know, just help boost things a little bit. Easier here to watch. Yeah, that's fine. Do whatever is easiest. I'm good with that. Man, Google throws a fit every time I log in from a different device. It's like, hey, this is suspicious activity. Like, no, I just logged in with my phone. Ah, yes. Yes, that is kind of irritating when that happens. It's just like, dude, it's me. It's me. It's not someone else. I'm just logging in on a different device, people. But oh well, I mean, they have to have security. And I think it's good that they double check to make sure it's you. But also, it's like, come on. I was just logged in on my other device. Like, this should not be a security threat, but okay. It's been doing that recently. After the last Windows update, everything got logged out. Windows. I mean, you know, my magic item, my computer, is a very nice machine to have. I just wish that it would not just decide to update by itself, which it does quite frequently. It's like I'm in the middle of a summoning, I'm in the middle of a magic cast, and it's just like shutdown time. And I'm just like, I was busy working. I was busy. At least in old Windows versions, at least the program had the politeness to say, hey, we're about to restart your computer. We're about to restart it in 15 minutes. Just wanted to let you know. Whereas my magic item these days is just like, nope, we are just gonna shut down. We are just going straight from we're on and functioning to we're just gonna crap out. We're just gonna shut down without your permission. So yeah. How about no? How about no? Yes? No, you have to have a Google account to use YouTube. Yes. I think they've had that requirement for a while now. Like for years. Which I guess is fine. I mean, I guess it's okay that they have, you know, the linkage. Yeah, that would explain it. That would explain it. If Google bought YouTube, of course they would require that. Because they're in bed with each other. Now, Dextrose, welcome in. Welcome in, dear. Good to see you. We're just playing around in Spirit Lo-Fi Sessions, which is a game I'm actually getting to do a giveaway for the next couple of days. So, speaking of said giveaway, if you would like to enter in, you can just do !lunch, and that will bring up the details for how to actually enter the giveaway that I'm doing, which is for a free copy of this game on the same day that the DLC Cozy Kitchens actually releases. And speaking of Cozy Kitchen, once that bad boy releases, we are going to be doing some content around the DLC. I just can't show very much to do with that right now because, well, it hasn't been released yet. So, yeah. I wish it would. One of my ideas was that even though the giveaway is just for the base game, Spirit City Lo-Fi Sessions, I had an idea that I would myself gift the winner also the DLC, as just part of the gift. Like, so the gaming company is not going to be doing that. That would be a choice that I'm personally making, which is something I kind of want to do, so that the winner gets not only the free base game, but also gets the DLC. So I've been kind of going back and forth about how to do that in the best way. But that would be something that I would add to the giveaway for the winner. I just didn't want to make any public announcement about that, because for the specific giveaway run by the studio itself, they're only doing a free copy of the base game. But I kind of wanted to sweeten the win a little bit by saying I might throw in the DLC. I might just throw it in as like an extra nice thing. So if I did do that, it would just require that, the winner follow me on Steam, and then I could gift them the game after they put it on their wish list or something. I think that would be cool to do, so that way you get both. Because I personally think it would be more fun to get to enjoy both games on the day of the release, rather than just the one game. Hey, are we doing anything here yet, buddy? Are you getting any closer to being summoned? See, chat, what did I say? Like, the minute I intend to summon is the one moment that the spirits are like, no, we're just not gonna get summoned. And then when I'm not expecting it, they just show up, and I'm just like, okay. Alright, well, whatever. I'm sure it will show up eventually. Might as well do a little bit of, like, decorating or something while we're waiting on that. This looks like a whole lot of mess. I probably don't want to add to my desk space. I don't want it to get too cluttered. I'm gonna be like, no, keep it nice and clean. I'm just gonna purchase some of these because we can, because we have the money. So you can basically customize however you like. I know that's a slightly different bed than before, but it doesn't... I'll take the whole... Can you imagine? Can you imagine Mom just going into the furniture store and being like... And they just come up to me and they're like, Miss Tiffy, what would you like to buy from our store? And I just look at them with anime intensity, and I'm just like, all of it. I want to buy all of it, understand? Every single thing. How many beds do you want? Yes. God help me, I'm playing solitaire and it's kicking my ass. Oh no. Tiffy buying out the entire IKEA and rolling out with all the meatballs? Yes. Speaking of IKEA, I've actually been there, I think, once or twice. It's nice to walk around or in my case, hover around every once in a while. We actually don't have one in the part of the realm where I happen to live at the moment. But yeah, I've been there like, I think at least twice. And I've gotten a couple of bits of furniture from there, and luckily I had the support bard, the himbo husbando, help me put all that stuff together. But yeah, so you can, if you have enough spirit bucks, I guess is what I'm gonna call that. If you have enough, you can pretty much buy decorations, you can change wall colors, you can do all this kind of stuff. You can change lighting, you can change stuff to do with the window. And, oh, finally it summons. Oh, very cute, very cute. Oh, how sweet. Okay, what do we got? Arachnid. Very cute. Arachnid. That's adorable. Spooter. Okay, so it says... Did that just get out of... Yes, it did. It got out of control. Because I upped the size. Hold on. Okay, I had to make it bigger so I could actually read. Okay, so it says Arachnid. In Spirit City, finding a web spun of yarn in your attic means you're sharing your home with an arachnid. These crochet cuties are drawn to homes that are full of creativity. If you're lucky enough to attract one, you'll want to do everything you can to keep it around. They spin beautiful threads of endless yarn to entice smaller spirits into their webs. Don't worry, once they've knitted them a toasty sweater, they send the small spirit on its way. Having an arachnid as a pal means you'll never run out of knitting supplies. That's so adorable. And we leveled up our spirit rank. Ta-da! And got more money. Nice. Very cute. Very cute. Okay, so since we've summoned that cute little dude, that's not wardrobe spirit companion. Okay, let's see what options we have for Mr. Spooner. So cute. Oh no. Okay, so we have a pink one, a purple one, a rainbow one, a dark one. I think we're gonna get this little guy, because we don't have all the money, all the monies. And we have just enough for the purple one. So we'll get that one. Yay, that's super cute. Oh my gosh, guys. Oh my gosh, guys. This game. My mom would like these things. I'm sure she would, because they're not like regular spiders. I don't think they're gonna just bite you. They're friendly. They're gonna just help you spin a nice little web of yarn. Spin a nice little story. They're gonna be friendly. But yeah, anyway, so there are a number of spirits that you can summon that way, and as you see, they have lots of different color combinations that you can spend your money on, which I think is pretty cool. I'm gonna shrink that back down, so oh boy. I'm gonna shrink that back down so I can actually read chat again. It does mean I'm gonna have to like fix this again, but that's okay. Hi. Alright, so that was fun. I'm glad that we actually got to summon that one, and there are other ones that we can summon, but I actually want to like save those for other streams and stuff, so that we kind of savor them and we don't just go through them like candy. I do wish they would add like more spirit types as part of DLC more often. I think that would keep this game kind of going and kind of make it like cozy Pokemon, which I kind of like, in my opinion. So, I suppose now, since I do have something on my to-do list, we could actually do that and at least check something off on the game. So if any of you haven't seen how that works, you get to see. Hopefully I'm not in the way of you getting to see that. I am kind of in the way of you getting to see that. Hold on. So, as most of you probably know already from having seen this earlier in the week, here's the to-do list, and you can basically fill it up with as many tasks as you want, and you can check them off and even delete them when you're done. And so the tasks you complete also give you XP and also help you out in sort of your level up journey. So the game is kind of an interesting way to incentivize or gamify you getting your work done, which I think is pretty cool. That they're kind of using the gamer mindset to say, hey, if you're gonna play a game, why not incentivize it a bit? Why not use some of that quote gamer psychology for you rather than against you, which is kind of what I like about this. And then it just kind of says, hey, why not both? Why not actually work towards stuff and have a nice, cozy, comfy time at the same time? By the way, is my sound okay? Do I need to do any adjusting? Is it too loud or too quiet? I do have my sound down a bit more than I usually would have because I'm speaking at full volume and not in whisper mode or very whispery mode. I am trying to speak a little bit quieter, just to keep with the study vibe mode. I don't know if I'm succeeding, but I'm at least trying to be a little bit more like librarian and quiet. So I'm actually gonna see if I can finish reading this chapter that I do have on my to-do list. So if you all have any other chapters or anything from books or anything like that you want to finish reading, or if you want to finish working on a project or anything like that, now might be a fantastic time, since I'm going to be doing a little bit of reading myself. And I will try to talk a little bit while I'm reading so that it's not just like silence. The one complaint I have about the game is that the music choices are kind of limited. I mean, I can agree with that on one level, but I also really do like how they at least try to give you a couple of different albums to choose from. One of the things I personally like is that all the music is kind of, at least it's more streamer safe in that way. And because otherwise I would be using other music on YouTube, and sometimes I get slapped really hard for using other music on YouTube because YouTube is YouTube. So I do appreciate that aspect of it, where I don't really have to worry about any of the music in this game getting me in trouble in that way. But I think it would be great if they had DLC to add more music, add more albums. I think that would be another good type of DLC to add to regular DLC releases, would be more music. More music, more spirit companions, in my opinion. The studies are going pretty well so far, I would say. I mean, I did finish up my midterm this week. I'm still crossing like all the fingers on my mage hands and my tail that I did well. I hope that I did. It was a little bit of a challenging midterm because there was a huge diagnostics component where I actually had to review a tape of somebody going through a mock therapy session, like an intake session, and basically putting together a sheet about them, and from that sheet trying to come up with a appropriate diagnosis for what they might be coming into therapy for. So that was a bit challenging, but I think I did well. I hope I did. I think I did okay. I don't feel like I completely flopped it. There's just a part of me that's like, because sometimes the teacher can be pretty, I'm not gonna say finicky, but he has very specific things that he looks for in certain things like that when it comes to diagnosis or treatment planning. That's the only reason I'm a little bit concerned. Is that, and rightfully so, he has some pretty strict criteria, which is fine. He should have that. He's the professor. But it's still kind of like, I wonder if I met those expectations or if I fell a little bit short, but I think that's natural. I think that's natural for anyone after a midterm, just kind of being like, well, was it enough? I'm sure I did well enough to pass. I would be really happy if I did stellar. I would be really happy if I got like a, even more awesome grade. It'd be nice if I got like a 90, but, like an 88 or 85 would still be good, I think. The problem is, though, there aren't very many assignments in that class, so you don't have a lot of wiggle room when it comes to if you don't do as well on something, which would be the only reason I'm a little bit worried, because I would like to do really well in that class, but I guess that's what midterms are for. Trying to figure out how well did you do. Oh yeah, did I tell you all what I have signed up for summer classes yet? Because I did just get to register for those. And I don't remember if I actually told you all what I signed up for yet. But anyway, if I did already, then it will not be new news. But I thought I would just share here since it's kind of interesting to me what I signed up for. So one of my classes, if enough students sign up for it, also is AI in counseling, artificial intelligence in counseling. I'm really interested to see what they cover in a class like that and what side of AI it's gonna cover in terms of that. Let's go ahead and go back over to the desk for now, since we're not worrying about trying to summon anybody. We can just go over here. And why don't we just do some gaming over here? Why not? Look at us playing Tetris. So one of those classes is going to be AI in counseling, and I kind of wonder what they're going to be covering in that class, like what side. I hope they cover both sides of AI. I hope they cover not only the risk involved in AI, but also like possible benefits. I think that would be fun. Not to, oh my gosh, okay. Well, whatever. We gaming. We doing something. Legally distinct block dropping game. There we go. For copyright reasons. Great. And I just dated myself too. People are like, the hell? You're old. You know what Tetris is. So I'm like, you know what? I'm old enough to remember probably one of the original Tetris games. So there. Anyway, so there's that class I'm going to be taking. Then I'm going to be taking trauma counseling and crisis counseling. So those will be my 3 electives that I'm planning to take this summer. That will officially wipe out all of the electives I need. However, I am also planning to take an extra class just for the hell of it in the fall called the Biopsychosocial Aspects of Disability. I think this is one of the first disability centered classes that my program is actually going to offer. So as one of the students in said program with a disability, I feel like it's kind of my sacred duty of sorts to take that class for a test drive while I can, because they could have just as easily decided, nah, we're not going to run a class on that. So that's kind of my plan, and then it's just going to be getting the internship. The freaking internship, which I have not been able to get yet. I can't sleep. Oh no, dear. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry you can't sleep. Well, hang out with us for a little bit until you get tired. Maybe that will help. We're just gonna be vibing. It's only 6 minutes past midnight, luckily. Well, that's good. At least it's not like, 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning and you still can't sleep. That's the worst. Yeah, I am gonna be busy this summer, but I'm hoping it's not just gonna be like vomiting on me. I hope I'm gonna have time to like breathe. But last summer wasn't too bad. So I'm hoping that like 3 classes is not gonna overwhelm me. I'm really hoping not. I don't think it will. I think the biggest problem is probably gonna be the reading. The reading is probably gonna be the worst part. Just because I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of it, and in summertime it's like super accelerated. As far as like how much knowledge they're trying to shove into your cranium. That's the only thing. It's like it's like, okay, during a normal semester, during a normal semester it's like bad enough, okay? There's a lot of reading. But at least during a normal semester, you have 3 months, 3 or 4 months to do all the reading for all the classes and stuff. The problem is, during the summertime, you have 1 less month, but the same amount of reading for all classes. So essentially what ends up happening is it's the same amount of shoving shit in your brain cavity, but less time to do it in. So yay. So we might try to do some of that reading on stream just so like I'm not gone from stream for the entire summer, because that would suck. I'll probably go into night evening school. Yeah, that's understandable, especially for people who work during the day. Like, night school is really their only choice. We can suffer together, yay! Mutual college suffering, hurrah! But yeah, I mean, we'll get it done. At least if I get it done this summer, then all I have to do is focus on that freaking internship. If I still don't manage to get one this year, then it means I'll just have nothing but that to focus on. I see. I had that happen with a lot of my internship possibilities, unfortunately. They were like, yeah, no, we're already closed. We already picked people. So I'm like, okay, fine, great, good deal. Alright, I guess I'll just go, like, go look somewhere else. But evening school should work better since rent is like $600. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, that makes sense. That's probably a good choice. Yes, true. One does need to work to pay that rent, because not everyone can just go out and shake their big fat tail and get fat stonks of whatever. So yes. I'll just go put them fries in the bag, pretty much. Just go get that bag, however you need to. If I got paid, I'd go shake my butt. I mean, you know, if you're comfortable doing that stuff, I have nothing against people who make a living, you know, sharing what the goddess gave them. Trust me, there's nothing wrong with that. But not everybody has the skill or the comfort level to do that. You know, and not everybody has the option to do like the quote more legal, or should I say legally gray area, that is like Twitch creation and Fansly and OnlyFans, you know, that gray area. It's still kind of that kind of work, but because it's not out on a street corner, it's fine, right? Anyway, I don't know where I was going with that. Where was I even with that? There you go. Mommy completely forgot her train of thought. And it's probably not gonna come back at all. Oh no. Anyway, wherever I was going with that, you gotta do what you gotta do. I think getting education is really important. I think whatever avenues a person can use to their benefit to increase their knowledge and their skills is a good thing. And I wish that more people took the initiative to even learn stuff online for free, you know, just to start trying to give themselves some brain food, because I feel like there's a temptation for some people to just say, well, what's the point of learning stuff? And it's like, in my opinion, however you pick up skills, and you never know. You never know how picking up just a few skills here and there might be really helpful. I'm just saying. I'll just spend the next 6 months training that hockey player, okay? There you go. I need to study for a minimum of 8 years. Wow, that's gonna be quite a commitment, but I think it will be worth it. I think anything that you commit yourself to and that you really believe in doing is worth the effort. And I would say from personal experience, it's never too late to decide to up your skills. And if you are working to become a lawyer, that's amazing. Freaking do it. If I hadn't decided to become a counselor, I might have decided to become a lawyer, but I would have had to start that way, way, way earlier. But good on you. Some people think learning new stuff in this day and age is useless, but that's not true at all. Hell no. I mean, let's look at it this way. Technically, as a species, we have more knowledge. Listen carefully, little monsters. We have more knowledge at our freaking fingertips at this point in history than our ancestors had at any other previous time in history. So with that in mind, if we have all this access to information and a person can choose how to spend their time and they can choose to spend it learning something, then my encouragement would be to learn something, you little monsters. Learn. You never know how it's gonna help you out. Techie, welcome. Reaper, welcome in. Or if that doesn't work, I have 2 different social work study paths. I think those sound amazing too. It sounds to me like you have some good options either way. no matter what. And I think that's just a really important thing to do in society right now, overall, is saying, well, what are my backup plans? What are my backup options? How can I grow and expand and have enough skills to make it through? Because I think the thing is, at least for us millennials, I know, ooh, millennial, I just outed myself. For us millennials, we have grown up in a world that has changed so much in such a short period of time. So millennials were definitely the first generation to have to learn how to adapt quickly to a changing work environment. I think Gen Zers and Gen Alpha have had to continue and will continue that pattern because of things like AI getting everywhere. I think we're just gonna see more and more people needing to adapt more and more quickly to the demands of a changing world. I think it's good to get started now. As I was saying, it's never too old to start something new. But if you wait too long, then you're gonna run into another problem of maybe not having the resources, the energy, the time, the stability to pursue that new education, which is kind of the choice I personally had to make to go back and get my master's in clinical mental health. Is I had to say, okay, well, I'm starting in my 30s. And so I'm starting a lot later than some people start their master's degree, but it's better that I start it now and that I work toward it now, because if I wait any longer, I'm probably not gonna have as much energy, I might not have as many resources, I might not have as much time. So I would really encourage you to just keep going. I kind of wasted 4 years studying computer engineering that I hated so bad, never graduated. You know, at least you found something that you like better. Don't worry about it. You're still a young thing. Don't worry about it. You have time. Here I am being in my 30s like, dun dun dun. I'm old lady material. And I'm still not done yet. I still got life. I still got things I'm doing. Don't worry about it. You have plenty of time. At least you figured out the computer stuff was not for you. That's not where your heart was. Good for you. Still got spunk in my state. Yes. Like I said, I may be in my 30s, but people are like, hey, yo, are you still in high school? And I'm just like, no, honey. No, honey, that was a long time ago. No. Thanks for the compliment, though. Could have liked IT support, but I got put into coding. Oh. That's not fun. That's kind of horrible. Coding can be fun until it's not, right? It's fun until it's not. It will. Yeah, definitely not for me. You know, my husbando was the same way about mechanical engineering. I'm sure he won't mind me sharing this, but the husbando was like that about mechanical engineering. His dad really wanted him to get into that, and So he originally got into college doing mechanical engineering, and before the first quarter was even over with, he was just like, I can't I can't do this. I'm like not interested in it. And he said, I don't really have the skill to just do this, like, I'm breathing air, and he was like, to watch other students in this class who know what they're doing, he's like, this is not for me. I'm not even at their level of confidence, and I have no desire to cultivate that confidence. So he went and got a degree in business administration and a minor in philosophy, and I think that suited him a bit better than the mechanical engineering thing, because he was just not a very happy tiefling with that line of study. So yeah, I think it's good that you found out that it's not for you. I think that's really important. I think this goes for anything in life. If you really start feeling like you don't have the motivation, you either need to see if there's like a different angle you can approach it from that will give you the motivation, or maybe find something else that motivates you. So I really think it's good that at least this stage in your life, you're kind of like, well, maybe that's not for me, and maybe I don't need to continue investing in it. I wish I had tea. What kind of tea is your favorite? I'm curious. It takes doing one thing you don't enjoy or have skill for to find something that you can be really good at. Agreed. I took a computer science course, but after trying out an internship and such, I realized that programming for work, at least for a small company, is not for me. But with that knowledge and my relative youth, I can try for something more of my strength, IT. That's a good point as well. I mean, basically, in my mind, it doesn't matter how old or young you are. If you have the chance of learning more about what you do and don't like, or more about what skills you want to cultivate more, I think that's kind of the most important thing you can do. Is just kind of treat that as like a learning experience, and say, okay, well, this didn't really work out, so maybe I'll try this. Or maybe I don't really like that part of it, but I like this part, so maybe I'll go into this part more. It's just kind of a process. And I guess as a counselor, I hope that my main goal can can just be to encourage people to find that spark. Oh, peach tea is good. I really like it. Maybe I'll get kidnapped by a French. Oh my lord! That sounds like a really fun story idea. I'm not gonna lie. You got the wheels turning on that one. One day, someone just gets kidnapped from their boring, ordinary life by a French female mob boss. And then their whole world turns upside down. Is there love? Maybe. Is there intrigue? Definitely. I like that idea. Did you like my little attempt at announcer voice? I used to have a wild mind when I was younger. Hey, I still do. I go on flights of fancy all the time. Hey, you're probably wondering how I got here. Well, let me tell you the story. I don't do that announcer voice very often. It's probably gonna wreck my vocal cords to It all happened a few months ago. Oh my god. I'm gonna wreck my vocal cords doing I don't have an announcer voice, sadly. Welcome in, Rhea. Welcome in. How are you, dear? Turns out she was actually a Colombian vampire. Dun dun dun. Who serves you coffee instead of tea? How villainous. I'm glad you're doing well, Rhea. So if you don't know, we're actually doing a giveaway on the game that's on screen right now called Spirit Lo-Fi Sessions. And so basically, this is what I like to call a productivity type of game. Basically, the point is you can do a lot of customization with your character, your study space. Here, let me just show you. I'm not gonna do too much, but you can basically build your character however you want. Hair color, horns, clothes, all that good stuff. You can pretty much customize really anything you want to. And then you can go to, you can look at clothing if you want. And you can actually change your spirit companion. So we just unlocked this spider guy right here. In the game he's called an arachnid, or they are called an arachnid, but there are other options you can unlock. This is actually the spirit companion Lenny that you start out with. There's one like this. I believe he's kind of like a little dust hamster or something, I don't remember. So you can, there are other color options that you can unlock with funds and stuff. And oh hey, we unlocked another spirit. Let's check that out actually. Oh cool. Oh, he's okay, they're cute. New spirit discovered. 8-bits. Are you kidding me? 8-bit wheeze. Alright, I'm gonna make the window bigger here again so I can read. Yes, I know, I'm gonna have to fix it on my stream thing. Yes, because it got out of whack again. Okay. Okay, so basically, as you just saw there, we can unlock different spirits by doing different tasks at different times. So I actually didn't intend to unlock this one. It just kind of happened because I was sitting there, quote, gaming. So here's what it says in the Spirit Dex about 8-bit. 8-bit is an adventurous and energetic spirit with mysterious origins. The Monkey Game Company proudly claims they developed 8-bit as their mascot, and even designed their popular gaming console to resemble the plucky chimp's distinct head shape. But could a gaming company really have manifested a digital spirit into the real world, or did the spirit already exist undiscovered until Monkey came along? It's a topic that the spiritographer community continues to debate. 8-bit goes bananas whenever video games are nearby, and they've even been known to download themselves into an in-progress game in hopes of meeting some new digital pals. These spirits can get overexcited easily, and tucker out quickly. So if an 8-bit is ever looking under the weather, you should check its cartridge. Some dust may have built up inside, but a quick blow of wind should get it back on its feet in no time. Interesting. So that's the little entry for that new one that we unlocked. Where's the... You know, Nexus, I don't think we want to know, do we? I don't think we want to know where they shove that cartridge. Am I right, little monsters? Oh, no. See? I'm good. Don't want to... See, I told you. We probably don't want to know where the cartridge goes. But yes, anyway, I am running a giveaway on this game from now until Wednesday, 9 a.m. Pacific time. So, if anyone in chat has not entered the giveaway, please consider doing so. It will be open for a few more... It will be open for a few more days. And so that goes for anyone who's following me and anyone who's a part of my community. You do not have to be a VTuber. You do not have to be a content creator to enter the giveaway. Can you make sure she gets the... Alright. Take care of yourself, okay? Hope to see you next time, Zephyra. Thank you for being with us. Here, I'm gonna hydrate because things are a little dry. Alright, so anyway, I have that giveaway going on. So, there are some giveaway details. You can summon them into chat by typing the mysterious runes ! Launch. Or you can check out the games using my unique link by typing in ! Spirit City. I am drinking some sparkling water right now. I'm trying to get away from drinking too much soda. So I'm actually drinking a little bit of sparkling water to have it be like soda and have it taste like something, but try not to have too much of the sugar because we don't want to get diabetes. It is guava flavored. Alright, I think I'm actually going to change the companion that I have out right now. Why don't we just have our new companion since we bothered to summon him, and right now we don't have enough money in game to buy any of these other color combinations, but once we do, we can. It's pretty nice. Yeah, I think that's the same for me too, so I just tried to move over to sparkling water so that I still get some of the carbonation without all of the sugar, because it's a bit much. And I'm kind of trying to avoid, giving myself extra health problems because I'm just overindulging in soda too much. So I'm actually gonna see if I can complete this reading task here so that I can show you what happens when I check it off, that we will actually get some points for having finished something that we have on our list. So I'm actually gonna see if we can do that as part of this stream. So right now, if you're curious about which book I'm reading, it's actually one that I volunteered to read for one of my classes. So this is the book I got to choose, and it's a manual for written exposure therapy. For that. Robert, welcome in. Good to see you, dear. How are you? So we're reading another chapter in that. If I find anything interesting, I might read it aloud, just to kind of keep myself chatting a little bit. I hope you're doing well, Robert. It's really nice to see you. Please feel free to get comfy and cozy. We are doing a giveaway right now for the game that is on screen, which is Spirit City Lo-Fi Sessions. Let me just go ahead and grab the link for the giveaway in case you want to enter. It's open to anyone who is following me on Twitter or Blue Sky or both. And all you have to do, if you want to enter, is follow the directions provided in this link. Yeah, I think it's gonna be really neat, and I'm really fortunate that the game company wanted me to help with a giveaway to build up hype for the upcoming launch for some DLC called Cozy Kitchens, which is gonna be an add-on for this game that drops on the 26th. So we will actually be doing streams once it drops on that new content, which should be really fun. And I'm personally planning to gift a copy of the DLC as well to whoever wins the giveaway. Just because I think it would be nice for people to have both the base game and the new stuff. I think that would sweeten the deal for the giveaway, but that's my own choice. The gaming company itself they're only doing the giveaway for the base game, which is fine. I just thought it would be even more sweet to throw in a copy of the DLC for anyone who wins the main giveaway. So right now what I'm going to be doing is completing a reading task that I set for myself in this game so that I can show you what happens when I check it off. I like what this book says about this. As you guide the client through the explanation of the WET process, aka written exposure therapy process, always return to the core idea. The writing is not a way to relive or re-experience the trauma, but to help them make sense of it in a manageable, healing way. The written word serves as a tool for externalizing and processing their emotions so that they can gain perspective, reduce the stress, and gain control over their lives. Which I think is important to remember, because like I mentioned earlier, when someone goes through a traumatic experience, one of the things that makes that traumatic experience so damaging is the sense that the client has of having lost control, or the person has of having lost control over their lives due to that traumatic event, whatever it is. Trauma narrative writing is not simply an exercise in recounting events. It is a purposeful therapeutic process designed to allow the individual to explore, process, and ultimately reframe their traumatic experience. As a therapist, your role is to guide your client through this process with sensitivity, clarity, and care. To start, it's important to understand the key objective of trauma narrative writing. The purpose is to help externalize, aka take those feelings that are stuck inside and put them outside somewhere where you can work on them, allowing them to explore the emotional, physical, and psychological effects of the event in a safe and controlled environment. Which, since my original degree was in English literature with an emphasis on literary stuff, I think that's why I'm really drawn to written forms of exposure therapy, because it really aligns with my previous line of study, and basically allows that to come back in a different way, so that even though I'm learning how to be a counselor, I'm not just like moving on totally and completely from what I learned, previously. Okay, so since I think that I'm gonna transition to reading, we can actually go over here and do some reading. And of course, our little 8-bit gaming buddy, of course, he's not going to be doing any reading. But if we chose a different companion, let me just show you what would happen. That's not where we go for that. If I just go over here, and let's say we change it to our kitty friend, and we go back, at least our kitty friend will be reading with us. Which is kind of a cool thing, that for each different spirit, they kind of will do different sorts of activities with you, depending on what their sort of interests are. Which I think is a really neat touch. Yeah, but just like regular exposure therapy, you don't want to just have the client just go full on and get like overexposed to their trauma. You want to do it gradually. And it says, writing about trauma can be an emotionally taxing experience, and it is unlikely that the client will feel ready to write about the most distressing parts in the initial stages. For this reason, the trauma narrative writing process should begin with a general overview of the traumatic experience rather than an in-depth recounting of the event. Right, so we're sort of warming them up to that idea. It's just like with anything that you would do to try to reduce someone's fear. is to just kind of gradually say, okay, we're gonna go back and we're gonna revisit this as much as we can, but we're gonna try to do safely. Renfield, welcome back. Good to have you back. I hope you had a great dinner. I like this too that they put in the book. It is important to note that vividness plays a key role in trauma narrative writing. The goal of writing is not simply to recount the facts of what happened, but to explore the emotional and sensory details that accompanied the trauma. Encouraging clients to write about what they saw, heard, and felt, and even smelled during the traumatic event can help them process and integrate the experience on a deeper level. Which is really what we're doing this for. We're basically saying, let's safely and slowly go back, take a look, relive it, but with the intention to re-examine it, not just be in a state of, oh my god, I'm looking at all this again and it's not helpful. That's not what we're aiming for in this. In fact, it even goes on to say, however, you should also remind clients that they are not expected to relive the trauma in a raw or unprocessed way. Instead, the emphasis should be on writing with enough detail to begin making sense of their emotions, reactions without being re-traumatized. Good idea. Another important guideline is to focus on meaning making. While trauma writing can be an emotionally charged process, here, I think I'm gonna do bring up my book since we're bothering to read. This means exploring the thoughts, beliefs, and feelings that the client has developed as a result of the trauma. For example, some clients may have developed negative beliefs about themselves or the world as a result of their traumatic experience. These beliefs may manifest as thoughts like, I am weak or the world is unsafe. As your client writes, help them to explore these beliefs and to reflect on how they have shaped their current functioning. Part of the therapeutic goal of trauma narrative writing is to allow the client to see how these beliefs have influenced their emotions and behaviors, and to begin rewriting these beliefs in a way that is more aligned with their current reality. This meaning-making process can help the client gain insight and perspective, reducing the power of the trauma in their life. Another guideline to consider is the use of self-compassion. That's a very important one, not only for the client, but for the counselor helping the client through this process. And all self-compassion means is that you are compassionate toward your faults, your mistakes, the things in your life that you believe you could have or should have done better. Self-compassion says, yes, and you are still human. Yes, and you still did the best you could. Yes, and you were only able to make the decision you did with the information you had at the time. And to sort of forgive yourself for any oversights or under-preparedness. Because that's the thing about trauma. You can't prepare for it. It's not like you're going to wake up one day and just be like, gee, I'm going to expect to be traumatized today. That's not how it works. So in that case, one really has to develop self-compassion and say, okay, well, there's no way I could have known that certain things were going to happen. I could have prepared for it just about as much as someone can prepare for a volcano exploding when they weren't expecting it, you know? So yeah, probably after we finish this reading exercise, I might call the stream for today, just because it will be getting close to my dinner time, and I kind of also want to see if there's anyone else on right now playing this game so that we can raid into them, because that was something I was thinking about between this stream and last stream. Is maybe trying to raid someone who's in the game category, since we are doing this to raise awareness about giveaway time. But I hope everyone has had a nice comfy time here with us. I know it's been kind of a smaller group today, but that's fine. That happens sometimes, that's okay. Not everybody, like I say, not everybody can always make everything. That's just life. That's just how it goes. It is cozy. That's one of the things I really like about this game. They have a lot of really cozy albums that you can actually choose from in-game. And so far, all of these have been streamer safe, so that's extra nice. It's a really great game. I like to have it on and just vibe, you know, when I'm studying and stuff. It makes it a lot less lonely and a lot less, just same old. You know, I feel like the game really kind of helps just put you in a mood to be productive and not stressed, which is really helpful for a college student who's got a full load of classwork. Very nice. I hope it was helpful for you. Oh, I got a time for tea redeem. That's right. Oh boy. You know what time it is. Might be time to summon the support bard. But I'm also like, probably by the time I summon him, I'm gonna be done already. Okay, so tell you what, little monsters. If I'm not able to get the tea in enough time for today's session, we'll just do a rain check on the tea for next time. Let me poke the Bardo. Oh, he's been busy sending me stuff. So we'll see if he's able to brew some in enough time. He might be able to, since I'm a little bit of a slow reader anyway. He might be able to handle it just fine. Yes, reframing is also an important part of therapy overall, and all reframing is taking a different look at what you've been through and redefining your role in it, or redefining the purpose of the trauma in your life, basically. So instead of saying like, oh, I was a victim to this and all this happened to me, reframing An example of that would be, oh, I survived this and this and this. I am a courageous survivor of, would be an example of reframing that event away from something that is disempowering into something that is empowering and more positive. It doesn't take away the damage that was done. That's not what we're trying to do there. We're not trying to minimize the harmful effects of the experience, but what we are trying to say is, instead of letting your mind hang out in the victim swimming pool, we're just trying to say, hey, you had no choice in what happened to you, but you have a choice to redefine yourself from victim to survivor, from victim to hero. Speaking of dinner, I have some really good stuff for tonight. Ooh, what do you have planned? I must know in case I have to invite myself over for dinner. Oh, I like what this says here. As clients revisit their trauma, it is essential that they do not simply relive the event, but also reflect on the ways they have grown, learned, and healed since the trauma occurred. Carne asada is what I'm having lately. Nice. Rice, tofu, and chicken and cauliflower. That sounds delicious. I like both of those ideas. I might have to invite myself to both of your places for dinner. And then your family's gonna be like, what the hell is this strange tiefling vampire doing outside the door? Drooling? They're just gonna be like, excuse me, did you invite her? And I'm just gonna be like, let me in. Let me in. Feed me dinner and I will leave. Maybe. While it is essential to honor the pain of the trauma, it is equally important to help the client to recognize their ability to heal and move forward. This reframing process allows the client to shift from a place of victimhood to a place of empowerment and growth. Lastly, encourage clients to write with honesty and authenticity. The writing process is about exploring and expressing their true feelings, thoughts, and experiences. It is not about writing to meet your expectations or anyone else's. Not wise, I got the sniffles right now. Oh, fair enough. Then I will stay the hell away. Because, I may be a vampire, but there are certain things I do not have constitutional resistance to. And the sniffles is one of those, apparently. Very important fact here. Let them know there is no right or wrong way to write their trauma narrative. The key is to be honest and authentic as possible, even if that means confronting difficult or uncomfortable feelings, which would be the whole point of trying to do this with a client. Oh, okay. This is a really good question that they're highlighting here that a client might ask about this process. You may hear questions like, will this make me feel worse? Or what if I can't handle the emotions that come up? These are understandable fears. After all, the process of writing about traumatic events can unearth deeply buried emotions that feel unsettling or overwhelming. To address these concerns, it is crucial to frame the writing process in a way that feels manageable. Obviously, start by reassuring your client that it is completely normal to feel apprehensive about revisiting painful memories. I would also say it's important to let them know, yes, you might start feeling more feelings about this than you did in the past because we're going out of our way to explore them, but if they become too overwhelming, let me know and we can take a step back. We can do a smaller exercise. This is actually what I had to do in a couple of mock sessions that I did. So I actually had to practice this very thing. Let them know that they will not be expected to write everything all at once, nor will they need to dive into the most painful aspects of the trauma immediately. Instead, they can begin writing at a pace that feels comfortable to them, gradually exposing themselves to the material in a controlled and intentional way. Yep. Remind them that it's okay to take breaks when necessary. Highlight the importance of their sense of agency, aka their sense of choice in this process, that they are in control of how much they choose to write, how deeply they choose to engage with each session. You may also encounter concerns related to memories, specifically whether writing about trauma will bring up details they had forgotten or suppressed. That's likely. But you can just let them know that if it happens, that we will address that separately, and that if it continues to happen, we may need to examine a, different approach for a while. Additionally, clients may have concerns about whether the writing exercise is effective. In other words, does it work? Will it help me? They may ask, how is this writing going to help me feel better? Is this really going to make a difference? These are natural questions, and it's essential to provide a clear, evidence-based explanation of how WET works. Begin by explaining that research has shown that writing about trauma in a structured way can help individuals gain a sense of control over their memories, reduce intrusive thoughts, and alleviate symptoms of post-traumatic stress. You can explain that WET works through the process of cognitive restructuring. In other words, helping the client to make sense of their trauma, decrease the emotional charge of said trauma, and develop a more balanced perspective on the event. Emphasize that it may take time for the full effects to be felt. And also, like I said before, that they may get more out of it by participating more. As is the case with any therapy, actually, the more you put in, the more likely you are to get something out of it. That is why client investment in their own process is so important. I think this is a really important sentence here. The purpose of writing is not to erase the past, but to help them make sense of it and integrate it into their overall life story. You can let them know that healing does not happen in a straight line, and it's okay to have doubts, setbacks, or difficult emotions throughout the process. Healing is not about returning to the person they were, but about becoming a more resilient and integrated version of themselves. I find it interesting but not surprising that the book is also bringing up that people might fear whether their writing is good enough to participate in the writing exercise, and literally the point of this writing is not to win a Nobel Prize, it's not to win literary accolades. Literally the point of this writing is for yourself, your healing. And it's why with clients, when I do this, I'm going to encourage them to write however they want to write, even to disregard grammar, spelling, punctuation, because the point is not to be the perfect writer. The point is to participate in this therapeutic process, and getting too caught up in, am I doing it the right way, it's not going to help. But I'm not surprised, because there are a lot of people, including myself, who have pasts of people being really, really overly critical of their writing or things like that. So it doesn't surprise me that these would come up. Yeah, basically this part of the book is just saying what I already said, which is if the exercise begins to make them feel like they're re-experiencing the trauma, then basically as the therapist you have to encourage them to take a break, to take a breather, to go recenter themselves. Instead of continuing on with the exercise in that moment if it's getting too overwhelming. And I actually had to suggest that for my mock client. When I did this recently, I had to say, if you're getting overwhelmed from the writing, then maybe we can take that as a clue that you might need to take a few minutes or a couple of hours to take a breather, disconnect, and get yourself centered again. And clients might actually need to be taught how to do that. So that would also be part of my job, is to teach my clients how to ground themselves, how to regulate themselves if they're getting too kicked up about something. Lastly, be open to feedback about the process. Clients may have concerns or questions that arise after the session, and it's important to let them know that they can reach out to you if they need additional support or guidance. Or, like in the case of my mock client, they actually had to say, this was really, really difficult for me, and I'm wondering if there's a different way we could do that. That is an example of really helpful feedback that my mock client was able to give me and say, hey Tiffy, I like the general idea of this, but this was like too overwhelming for me. Do you think we could kind of have a different way of approaching the same thing? Because this is a bit unmanageable. And at that point, I was able to go, okay, sure. Which part of it did you find harder to manage? So that maybe we just modify how you're approaching that part. Yay, we're done with that chapter. Hurrah! Okay, great. So now I get to show you all you little monsters. That, we get to cross that off, and I believe we got some stuff done. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot to set myself a timer, so we're not gonna get XP for doing that this time because I forgot to do it. But anyway, there are here. Let me just show you. For those who have not seen this timer mechanic, okay? So here's an example of one 15-minute segment. Okay, and we can choose how many of these we want. 1, 2, 3, at least up to about an hour's worth. Okay? So then, for example, what we could just do is start that timer. And then, of course, what that would do is tick down to 15 minutes. And then after that, there's a 5-minute break. And then it starts another timer. So I think this is a really good way, especially for people like me and some of my friends who kind of struggle a little bit with ADHD type stuff and need a timer to sort of lock in and do a thing. I actually think that's a helpful feature. For that, for people who are like, I need a timer, I need to feel like that I can be on task for this time. So basically, that's just a really simple explanation, and so I can pause the timer if I want. So like if I know I'm not reading or something, then basically I can just pause it and then restart if I'm actually reading. But yeah, anyway, so we finished that goal for today, which I think is going to be a good time to actually call stream. I didn't end up getting my tea in time for that, I don't think, but that's fine. I will just have a rain check on the tea for later. It's kind of my goof up for not like realizing that the tea redeem was, from like a half hour, and then I don't even know if the husband, he did see the tea. You know what? I'm gonna let him bring in the tea, okay? We're gonna hang out for a few minutes so he can at least bring it in, okay? I'm gonna hang out for a second just so he can be like, I brought the tea! Madam, I brought you your tea, thank you. In the meantime, let me see if there's anyone else playing Spirit City Lo-Fi sessions right now. Yes. There is somebody playing right now. We might go raid them. Okay, I think I found somebody I'm gonna raid. They go by the name Mama Bear Sam, so I think we're gonna pay them a visit if they are still streaming. By the time we get done. with what we're doing over here, I think that would be very nice of us to do that. So let's check out this raid message. Make sure it still works. No. Did it? Okay, it sort of worked. Kind of. Sort of. It's kind of ugly. It's kind of ugly. I'm sorry. It's an ugly raid message, but I tried to update it and I think things are just... Ay. Okay. I don't think it worked out well. Here, I'm gonna have to mess with that more. It's kind of ugly. Ew, I wanted it to look way better than that. It's not good looking. Oh well. We're gonna just have to use that for now. I'm gonna have to figure out what's gone on with it. Anyway. So I think I have the person that I'm gonna raid. Hopefully they don't stop streaming before I can raid them. And we might have to end the stream with a cup of tea because I think the Bardo is working on it right now. So we'll just hang out and chat with Spirit City Lo-Fi stuff in the background until the boyo brings in the tea, and then I'll probably send you guys off once I have it. Oh, speak of the devil. Come in, dear. Tea, right on time for me to almost end stream. Okay, let's take a sip. Nice and hot. Just like me. Alright. Well, my little monsters, this has been an interesting stream. I did like that we got to do a little bit of journaling. We did some chatting. And I did actually do a little bit of studying. So I guess it worked out. And yes, I did get my tea. Now I can be fueled by it for the rest of the night and be a menace at your house and come over for dinner. Hada. You all better let me in for dinner or breakfast or lunch. I'm hungry. You better save me a plate or else. Alright. Okay. Alright, my little monsters. Much love to all of you. Please take care. Please stay hydrated. Please stay well fed. Take your medications as prescribed. And as always, be good to each other. Try to stay calm in this crazy mixed up world of ours. And I will see all you little monsters next time. Alright, let's go raid. And let's have you little monsters send some comfy mama vibes, okay? See you all next time. Good night.